Welcome back to CVN's Trial Technique Spotlight. And today I want to talk about the importance of using demonstrative exhibits in your opening statement. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Shane Reed. I'm a former civil assistant United States attorney, and I've written several textbooks for trial lawyers. And I think it is so important to bring your case to life so the jury will remember what you're saying and will have a big impact. And the best way to do that is through demonstrative exhibits. So what is a demonstrative exhibit? It's simply a visual aid that helps explain your case to the jury. And you can use them in opening, on cross, directs, wherever you need them to. And how do you get to a good demonstrative exhibit? The first thing you need to do is think about a metaphor. What's a metaphor? When I was researching my latest book, Winning at Persuasion for Lawyers, I researched Joseph Campbell, who was a famous writer on mythology, and his ideas were so famous they became the basis for the Star Wars movies. And this is why he thought metaphors were so important. He said that if you want to change the world, change the metaphor. If you want to change the world, change the metaphor. So in your next case, think what a metaphor is that will explain your case to a jury, and then turn that metaphor into a visual aid, an object, a demonstrative exhibit that will help you explain it to the jury. What we're going to look at today is a plaintiff attorney, Lloyd Bell's opening statement. He's a really good attorney in Georgia, and his client was suing a hospital, alleging that she did not get the proper care after she had neck surgery. What happened to her, she had the surgery, she went home, she had trouble breathing, trouble swallowing, her neck was swelling, and then she went back to the hospital, to the ER, and they alleged she did not get proper treatment there. She got a multi-million-dollar award damages, in large part to the demonstrative exhibits that Lloyd Bell used. So I want you to think for a moment. He has to explain to the jury what a hematoma is, how a hematoma can put pressure on a windpipe, and how when that pressure happens, it can crush your windpipe if it's not treated correctly. So you had to think of a metaphor, turn that metaphor into an object that would become a demonstrative exhibit, and here's what he did.
And to prevent the hematoma from closing the airway, the hospital's doctors must insert a tube into the airway to keep protection of the airway so air can get down to the patient's lungs. This is called intubation. You put the tube into the airway. After inserting the breathing tube, the hospital's doctors can then safely remove this hematoma. Typically what they'll do is they'll open the neck back up where it was cut, and they'll pull the hematoma out. They'll scoop it out, and they'll wash it out and get the pressure off of the airway. If the hospital's doctors don't insert the breathing tube, the hematoma can close the airway and suffocate the patient. And this can be a gradual process. So the hematoma will grow and put direct pressure on the airway. That hematoma, the blood, will also cause inflammation around the tube, the airway tube, and form a constriction around it, and will twist the airway and push it off to the side. When the airway's twisted, this is an emergency situation because we depend on our airway for life. When the hospital's doctors let the hematoma suffocate the patient, brain damage, blindness, and death will.
I just thought that was incredible, and I know you did too. It was no accident that the balloon he used for the hematoma was red, right? He's trying to symbolize everything. So blood is red, so he picked a red balloon, not a blue or yellow. And it's wonderful that he used a tube for gift wrapping paper to show what a windpipe is. And he used it several times in his opening statement. And there's just something so powerful about it. And the fact that he could crush it and twist it and then hold it up to the jury is something they will remember the rest of the trial, that she had a damaged windpipe because the hematoma wasn't treated properly. He used visual or demonstrative aids throughout his opening statement. I want to show you one more that is the best I've seen for explaining what a CAT scan is. So let's look at that, and then I'll give you a couple comments.
Number 2, requests that Dr. Westwood order a CT to look at her neck. Now, you're going to learn about a CT. I don't know if you're familiar with it. You probably heard of a CAT scan, but a CT is like it's a X-ray machine on steroids, and it takes much more detailed pictures of your neck. And the best way I think to describe it is like a loaf of bread, and what the X-ray does is it takes slices. So if you think of taking slices of your neck, the CT will take slices like slices of bread and give great detail to the doctor. Now, when the doctor looks at the images, the way they look at it on the screen is to look at it downwards like this. But they're able to study each slice of bread, each slice of the anatomy going up the neck. It gives great detail.
All right. Have you ever seen a loaf of bread used in an opening statement? If you compare an X-ray to one slice of bread and the CT scan that was not timely ordered and taken of the plaintiff to a loaf of bread with all those additional images, it just makes a lasting impression on the jury. And Lloyd Bell was thinking throughout his opening statement, how can I make this case come to life so it will be memorable? So think about metaphors, objects, visual aids, turn them into demonstrative exhibits, and it will change the outcomes of your trials. So if you like these tips, I've got more on my newsletter that comes out twice a month. Just go to the link below, and it's free to sign up, and you'll also get a lot of bonus material. There are lots more videos on CVN to learn from, and look forward to seeing you next time.